Took two stab at AMD today. It was more like a correlation play with Nvidia. But let's jump into the chart. So if you look at the daily, so to be up $552 with AMD today, I'll gladly take it. So if you look at the chart, as you can see, we had a nice push. This is actually the daily. So we had a period consolidation, and we actually opened above, pretty much above this both flag here, and pretty much daily key level 170. So honestly, I liked it above those levels for a move higher, and that was kind of like my train of thought. Again, correlation play with Nvidia after earning yesterday. So that's what I like on the daily. If we jump into the smaller time frame, this is kind of like what I liked. So honestly, right after you open, even in pre-market session, we were holding those levels. So there was three levels that I was really intrigued for us to hold, which was daily key level 170, which is also psychological level. Yesterday high at day, which is 169.81, and weekly key level at 169.72. So those were the three areas I wanted to see us hold. And yes, on the first minute, we actually pushed higher and ended up rejecting. It's not looking too ideal, but I really like the fact that every time we got below, buyers stepped up. Every time we got below, buyers stepped up. So decided to try it out. I entered a 12 contract at this size down. Especially with AMD on Thursdays, I feel like is high risk, high reward. So decide to size down, especially off the open as well. So enter 12 contract. This candle we almost got to my stop loss, but we never tested, and buyers stepped up right away. So we're still looking good. We push higher at exit 4 contract. Pretty much here on the break of high a day, like I usually do. I like to lock in at least 1/3 of my position. Once we tested 172, I exit 2 contract because it was looking really good to work out. But again, this is a technical level. Exit another 2 right here once we tested, and we weren't going. So usually when we see a break a high a day or break a or a technical level, I like to see quick follow through, and we weren't getting that. But the setup was still looking good. So this was actually looking like a bull flag, but decided to exit 2 more and just leave 2 runners. And pretty much on the last 2, I pretty much got almost stopped. It was small green, but it was pretty much the last 2 contracts went almost to break even. This was pretty much the good trade of the day. This was around 2.45 hours. Then I decided to try it out once again, and it was just because it was looking pretty good. This is a big daily, it's a nice key level, and I actually my train of thought was like, if we could break and hold above this daily key level, I feel like we could see a push to 174.25. So right here, my entry wasn't the best. I will admit my entry wasn't the best. Not too heavy on my entry. Now looking back, it was more like of a chase. So I should have been a little bit more proactive and actually enter maybe once. I guess once we close above pre-market high. But I just wanted to be a little more patient. I wanted to wait for confirmation. So I waited for us to break daily key level 172, but right below high a day. I enter right here. Again, now looking back, it was a bit of a chase. And again, same scenario. We broke and we weren't seeing the quick follow through. So decided to in this position, I really sized down. So that's one of the good things one of the good things I did on this trade was actually I sized down heavily. So I only took 6 contract. Why? Because I knew I was kind of chasing on this trade. So I entered 6 contract, and I wasn't really seeing the follow through, especially on the breakout. I like to see quick follow through. Exit 2 contract, but setup was still looking good. Exit another 2 here at 173, and then we saw a rejection and exit the last 2 right there when I saw us rejecting and pretty much buyer stepping up. So yeah, that was pretty much the trade for today. And then after that, we saw a hell of a rejection. Like, look at that. We rejected from there, and we saw a really, really nice sell-off. We have moved so far on the day 12.75 points. So pretty impressive sell-off. But yeah, those I took 2 stab at AMD to be up 552.